And he did like this crazy maneuver to get the window to roll down, and it caused the entire audience to laugh. My name is Grant Baciocco, and on this channel, I talk about creativity and my thoughts on creativity. If something clicks for you creatively, keep doing it. When I joined the cast of the Jim Henson Company's Puppet Up Uncensored, I started studying improv more intensely than I ever have in my entire life. Patrick Bristow, who is the show's director, is also an amazing improv teacher, and much of what I know about improv comes from him. But I've also studied with other teachers as well, including Ted Michaels, who is a fellow Puppet Up cast member and a wonderful improv teacher. One time in one of Ted's classes, we did this exercise where two people would start an improv scene and they would keep going until they got the first big whole audience laugh. Then whatever it is the improvisers were doing that got the big laugh, they were supposed to keep doing that thing and see if they could keep the audience laughing. They were to keep exploring this thing as much as they could to see if the laughter would continue. For example, my friend Chris and another improviser were in a scene together, and the suggestion was a car. Now, there wasn't really a car on stage. They were just doing space work to represent the car, meaning they were pretending to open the door or put on the seatbelt or whatever. But at one point, Chris went to go roll down the window, and he did like this crazy maneuver to get the window to roll down, and it caused the entire audience to laugh. So Ted said, okay, this scene is about this crazy space work car that has all these awkward things you have to do just do simple things in the car. So Chris and his scene partner went on as normal, just chatting normally, but they kept doing crazy weird movements in the car. So he wanted to turn on the radio, he had to do all this crazy movement. It was hilarious. Now, I will admit that telling somebody about an improv scene usually does not seem hilarious, but in the moment, it was very, very funny. This isn't a scene you would use in a live improv show, but it's a good exercise for improvisers to learn how to follow the funny. Now, Patrick Bristow would probably say, follow the funny, but also know when it's time to move on. Know how to mine as much as you possibly can out of that, but then know when it's time to look elsewhere. This got me thinking about creativity and if we can apply the same idea to our creative work. For many years, I produced a podcast called The Radio Adventures of Dr. Floyd, and the main thrust of the podcast was that it was a time travel adventure. For 6 seasons of the show, we pretty much followed the same time travel formula for every single episode. For season 7, I wanted to try something a little bit different. So instead of time travel, the two main characters jumped into novels of classic literature. Instead of jumping from year to year, they were jumping from book to book of classic literature and meeting all those characters along the way. It was a break from the formula we had set up, but it wasn't that big of a break. A large majority of the audience did not agree with me, however, or at least a large vocal majority of the audience. They made it very clear that they did not like this novel hopping and wanted to go back to time travel. So for season 8, we went back to the time travel formula. We had moved away from something that had clicked, and the audience let us know. Now, you can't just keep creating the same art over and over again. You can't keep painting the same picture over and over again. You can't keep writing the same book over and over again, but you could paint in the same style as that first picture. You could write a book with some of the same characters or in the same universe as that original book. Explore what clicks with your audience and see what happens. I'm not saying never create another style ever again. That would be madness. But see what your audience likes and follow that for a bit. As someone who's been in many, many meetings about creating content for the internet and what works and what doesn't, one phrase I've heard many, many times is take your most popular video and then just make more of that video. That is why Toily has over 500 episodes of the Poop Word of the Day video series. Now, I will tell you, I am long past the point of thinking these videos are funny, but they work, so I keep doing them while I explore other things. If something clicks, keep doing it and see what happens. Do you agree or disagree with that? Let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.